In this episode, you'll learn how to spot spiritual bypassing and return to real, honest inner work. Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping entrepreneurs be free from anxiety, stress, and tension through balancing emotions and consciousness expansion. 3 things you'll discover today: how the ego hides behind light language, why truth never performs, and what to do when you feel spiritually disillusioned. Start with the former, how the ego hides behind light language. Okay, so I, in this topic, do not at all mean intelligent language, the language of a false positivity, right? You can almost feel when someone's personality is a saya or a mask. And there are certain people who they know there are things there that they don't want to look at, so they they try so hard to convince themselves that they're happy. And it comes off as this fake false positivity. Because it's almost like, the quote, you can't hide the energy, but why? Why can't you hide it? And it's like their energy is saying, hey, I'm screaming for help, but I don't know how to say it because I don't even know how to look at my pain myself. And they act a little fairy and rainbow and glitter, and things are always, yeah. And then there's real levels of, dude, my life could be falling apart and I'm still going to be able to speak to you in this calm tone of voice. But I'm not going to lie to you nor myself. And I'm going to say, like, hey man, yeah, his dog passed away yesterday, or, this big, heavy situation just happened. But, I mean, man, I know that, attaching importance to that which I can't control isn't going to help me whatsoever. So I'm just doing my best, right? What else can I do? I got to put my best foot forward. That's not the false positivity that I'm talking about. I'm talking about like this overwhelming exuberance of, oh yeah, things are great. Uh-huh. How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Oh, I'm good. And see, you can have that conversation, and depending on the context of the situation, you could be honest and it could sound just like that. Hey man, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? I'm good as psh, nice to see you. And then that's the furthest extent of the depth with that interpersonal moment or that relationship. Because it depends on the space that consciousness provides, whether you have the ability to play around with some depth. So that's why I'm not judging, right? What we're doing here is we're looking at how the ego hides behind light language. We're not judging or dismissing those who can't look at their own darkness. It's just maybe if you're listening, you're one of those people who is a bit like falsely optimistic, not necessarily naive, but just trying to keep yourself positive. Sometimes what you need to do is, what do you need to do? Sometimes you need to like let the tears out type of thing, or actually ask for help. Like, how do I look at this thing that's gnawing at me instead of just running from it, right? Or avoiding it. And see, that's the thing. Usually we have a avoidance or a running, which that's what the ego hides behind. And it does it through so many forms. Like ambition could be one of those things that the achievement as well. There's this ego development stage. It's called the hyperachiever. It's when you achieve, you achieve, you achieve, you work, work, work at the cost of your sanity. So, like, also in life, it's very common sense too. Like, when are you in your prime physical shape, right? From like 25 to 30, something like that. Lower 20s to lower 30s on average. That's probably, now I'm not judging you if you're in a different stage and this isn't how it panned out for you, but that's probably where you want to be most aggressive in certain endeavors and pursuits. when you have that young rage, that fuel, I mean, not anger, but that young fire, right? So the reason I bring that up is so that we can kind of have this holistic understanding of, all right, like how false positivity looks, how the ego hides behind light language. It's going to come in different forms. And sometimes balance is chaotic. Balance is according to the moment. And being holistic is realizing that life, it's in the moment, but it's also built through time. So, like, what's cool about being in the moment is that time and thought are no longer, but there's still like an underlying context of where we are in the grand scheme of humanity, if you will. So, yes. Now, let's go into why truth never performs. It, see, performance is, it's coming out of an insecurity, and the truth has nothing insecure about it. So, what the truth does is I'm kind of playing with it in everything I've said a little bit earlier, where what have I done? I've contradicted myself a lot. I haven't really said anything concrete in terms of do this or do that, or this is the way, and this person's wrong and this person's right. I haven't really said any of that. Reason I bring that up is because the truth and performance, you see, performance is usually a forced thing. Now, this is different, right? You could say someone's competing in a competition and they're performing, but if the performance is not pre planned, so how do I put it, right? In UFC, they may be, of course, right? They're going through a training regimen. So there's planning involved, but the actual fight isn't scripted. So there's a way. The best martial artists, you'll see this throughout time if you're real honest with yourself. The best martial artists are always filled with humility. Now, they may have moments, right? Like Khabib's a kind, wonderful guy. He had moments, though. He had moments where he's on tilt, right? And he's like really, Connor's a bad person type of thing, right? You'll see it even like with Roger Gracie. If you listen to him talk, if you watch his highlights, and so then let's bring in someone a bit controversial, because you have Gordon Ryan, who's kind of like a great competition history, but rude in some departments. But then if you watch him teach, he's kind. I mean, there's levels to this, right? But ultimately, what we're getting at is that truth is something where you're not trying. You're in the moment and you're just dancing with something. So, Bruce Lee says, be like water. Why do you be like water? You have to be able to flow and be in rhythm with the drums that you're not beating. You got to be able to feel the beat, even if you're not the creator of the rhythm. Sometimes you are the creator of the rhythm, but sometimes you have to listen. So ultimately, why truth never performs? If usually performance is an act of insecurity because you want to put on a show, because you want to impress others and you care about what others think about you, or you're obsessed with their opinions. Whereas truth is not moving out of fear, worry, insecurity, but only purity. So sometimes you'll be used as a karmic instrument in relationship to truth, and you could get labeled bad for how God uses you as a karmic instrument. But holistically, you can have the foresight to understand, oh yeah, like that that was beyond me. Now, what to do when you feel spiritually disillusioned? All right, let's break this down. The phrase spiritually disillusioned, I would say that this is like you feel lost in your journey, right? That's just how I'm going to sum this up, is what to do if you feel lost in your journey. And okay, the simple thing I could say is surrender, but what does that mean? How do you do it? Like, what's surrender mean? Part of it could be that prayer stance, right? Where you're stretching and your butt's kind of up in the air and you're on your shins and your knees and you're hands are extended upward toward above the top of your head. And you're looking on the ground, you're on the ground, your elbows are on the ground. That prayer stance, if you do that, that is a great way to sort of just ground yourself. Now, what if you're psychologically lost? Well, start with something that you know gets you going. For me, it's always been exercise. For you, probably going to be exercise too. You're a human being. But it could also be like writing a bit to yourself. It could be cleaning the house. That's one of those that I love. It could be folding the laundry. They're doing a big house clean, It could be a full house clean. Could be, the list goes on. If you feel lost psychologically, you got to get out of your head and you got to move. You got to act, okay? And through action, you will create a new state of being. It is not thinking that gets you out of a low frequency state of mind. No, it's through action. Sometimes action starts in the form of noticing that you're in a low vibration via thought. You notice you're thinking low shit things, then you realize, right, it's time for me to act. Yeah? Okay. So, yeah, that's it, really. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. And share it with a friend if you know someone who would resonate with this. And lastly, if you want to work one on one, we could get you ripped. That's the transformation promise. But it's not solely physical. We're really talking high level consciousness work. So if what I talk about intrigues you whatsoever, sign up for the emails below, and then you could also shoot me an email if you're interested in working one on one. So speak soon. Have a wonderful day.